Uh, we'll talk a little bit about Northwestern and then look forward to the McNeese game. The Going on the road in this conference, we talk about it all the time, is it's a difficult chore for everybody. And to be able to win on the road in this conference is really special. So for us to get a win in Natchitoches this past weekend was that was big. That was big for us. Be able to go 2-0 in conference play and put us in a position right now where, again, we go on the road against McNeese. I thought we played well, especially on offense against Northwestern. I was pleased with our efforts. Uh, we had the ball. We had 4 possessions in the first half, scored on 3 of them, and then really got hot in the second half, especially in the third quarter. The we had some big plays. We had some explosive plays, and I think that was a key for us in both the pass and the run game. And you always like to see that. It's tough to drive 80 yards in 16 plays. You don't see a lot of those. So you want to mix in some explosive plays, and we had a bunch. I think we had 10 in the pass game and 4 in the run game. So that helped us out a great deal. I think defensively, we had a couple of breakdowns in the game that led to 2 touchdowns. But other than that, I thought we played well on defense. I thought we shut down their run game. I think they ended up at 23 yards rushing, except for the fake punt was another 20 yards. But I think defensively up front, we shut down the run game. I thought the one of the big things going in was not allowing explosive plays for them. They were going to complete balls, which he did. I think he completed, 33? But we kept the explosive plays at a minimum, which means we tackle well. And that was a key for us, is to be able to tackle when they got the ball in space. And that was we did a good job of that. We affected the quarterback. We hit him. We had 8 tackles for losses. And so we did affect him back there in the pocket, made him move around a little bit and get off his mark. And I was happy to see that. On the downside, we had 13 penalties, and so did Northwestern. So I don't know if the officials were flag happy or not. We've had 15 penalties in the first 3 games total, and for us to have 13, that was disappointing. The 3 pre-snap penalties, all on offense, was bad, and then we had 12 men on the field when a guy ran out there, he wasn't supposed to be out there. So those are self-inflicted wounds that we just can't have. Those are, I think that was from a disappointment standpoint. That took away some momentum in the first half from us on both sides of the ball, and then allowed them to stay in there at times. So we gave them we had 3 pass interference DPIs in a row, and we can question them all we want, but they got called. So we got to live with that. So we got to do a better job of working through receivers and things like that. So, so when I look at that back at that game, as many mistakes as we made in the first half with the turnovers and things like that, it was 17-17. So even though it was you weren't comfortable at the first half, the game was tied when we went there at halftime, and we knew we'd just make a few adjustments and settle down a little bit, and we'd be fine. I thought we were playing well on both sides of the football. The fake punt gave them the momentum and got them another first down and kept our offense off of the field after we had just stopped them. One of the fumbles also took place, and we gave them another possession off of that. And, and that's the reason why we didn't have the football much in the first half. Moving forward to McNeese, again, on the road in this conference, we know how good they are at home. That's one of the toughest places in this conference to play at. I think defensively they're probably as good or better than anybody on our schedule this year. The front 4, very active, good size, athletic. The linebackers, same way. I think their front 6 is extremely active. Their safeties get involved in the run game. They're an even front team. Their safeties get involved a lot in the run game. They're downhill players, really aggressive. So we got our work cut out for us. I think it's, we've been going back and forth. Ole Miss was an odd front team, and then Lamar was an even front, and then we come back to an odd front. Now we're back in an even front. So, offensive line's got their work cut out for them, but they're playing well. So I feel good about those guys. Offensively, Ole Miss has struggled some, but they're more what you're going to see from them probably similar to what Coach Gilbert's got a Baylor background, so you'll see a lot of the same stuff that Baylor did. And with that's going to come a lot of RPOs, bubbles, screens. They'll take some shots down the field, and then also try to run the football. The quarterback, Orgeron, does a really nice job back there running the offense. He's also does a good job of running with the football. He'll take off and run, and a lot of more design runs, he'll just take off. So we got to be prepared for that. I think their running back is a transfer from South Florida, and really a powerful runner. Got good speed. Got a chance to break something in in the run game. So their group of receivers as a whole is the best group of receivers we've seen. Now they don't have that one guy that just you say we got to double this guy. We got to make sure. I think all of them across the board are pretty talented. So it's they're going to present for us offensively, give us some stuff that we haven't seen yet. But I feel good about us the way we're playing on defense as far as adjusting to some of those things. And then defensively, we feel like we're going to have to run the football. That's what we want to be able to do. And then, I think Chasen, again, had a really good game against Northwestern. He's got to stack another one on top this week on the road. So, but with that, I'll take some questions from you guys and move on.
Coach, back-to-back games, you guys came out in the third quarter, really took control of the game and didn't look back. What's been the success in the third quarter?
I think it's our guys, the mental focus, and, our guys just saying we're going to play hard for 60 minutes. If you want to beat us, play the whole game. And it's not a 30-minute game. And we played, I think it was 24-20 against Lamar at half, 17-17. So it's not like we're getting blown out in the first half. I think I'm not throwing up any bells and whistles. There's not no panic or anything like that. We're going in at halftime, making a few adjustments, and coming back out and playing the third and fourth quarter, which is what you have to do every week. So I don't think there's nothing magical taking place. I think our guys are just locking into what we're doing and feeling more comfortable as the game goes on. And we're playing hard for 60 minutes. So that takes its toll on an opponent also. If those guys they're going to take some plays off, maybe they're taking plays off in the third quarter because we're continuing to play hard. And so it's good to see that trend, but we're just going to play hard for 60 minutes. But there's nothing magical that's taking place.
Go ahead, Ron.
Oh, my bad. McNeese has had an identity, I think, forever on offense. And how is he changing that? And what does his personnel look like to do that?
Yeah, it's more 10 personnel now. They're not as much. Hardly any 21, but they're 11 and 10. You'll see a lot of stacks, wide stacks. You'll see bubbles, and if you watch Baylor a lot of years, he was at Baylor with Briles and that group, and there's a lot of similarities in those two offenses. So he's evolving to that. That's what he wants to eventually get to. You can see that. So there's going to be some growing pains with that, and they're not in the smash mouth mode, get under center eye formation. They're not doing that anymore. That's not who you're going to see when we watch them this week. But on defense, that identity that they had as a hard-nosed, physical defensive football team, that's still there. They're still doing that.
You guys went into this one pretty banged up. To come out with a win and have some other guys step up, how big is that for you guys?
Yeah, Rob, the injury situation is just part of the game. I mean, those happen. And there's, you prepare your players each and every week to play. You prepare them all to play. And when guys get an opportunity, take advantage of it. We talk about it all the time. There's nobody big. We can do without me. We can do without any player on our team and plug somebody else in there. We got to be able to go. I think recruiting has really helped us this past year when Ed McGee's catching balls and Kendall Collins is out there playing and Derek Turner's playing. And, we got some younger guys that are playing. Davion Nazary took a bunch of snaps the other night. Herman Kristoff, Alex Huzar. These are all freshmen that we just got in. Those guys are playing, contributing, and doing well. And so that's where the recruiting, building up our depth, creating some depth. Last year, if we would have gone into this game without the guys that we didn't have, I'm not sure what would have happened. I'm not sure who would have played. But this year we've created depth, and guys are buying into just play hard for as long as you can, practice hard for as long as you can. Let's keep developing them, and let's see what happens. So we had some guys step up the other day and really do a great job for us. And guys aren't ready to play this week, well, we got some other guys coming in there ready to go. But it is, as a coach, you want to get as many of these guys in the game so they can experience playing in these games, because we knew that we were going to get Northwestern's best shot. We're going to get McNeese's best shot, and our guys got to be prepared. So that's what we're doing right now. We're preparing these guys for that.
Frank, with that in mind, would you talk a little bit about Taryn and Kendall?
Yeah, I thought Teron really played well. He probably took too many snaps, to tell you the truth. I think he played 61 snaps the other day. It's probably a little bit too many. We usually, back them off a little bit and put Kendall out there. But both of those guys, I thought, did a really good job in protection. They both of them did a good job running the football, getting downhill. Teron had an explosive run right there at the end. Kendall had one for the touchdown. They made some good cuts, reads, things like that. These are guys that, when you, like I talk about, when you have the opportunity, they hadn't been getting the number of reps in practice because they weren't the starter. But this past week, they were able to get all the reps, and you saw them grow. Now, they got to continue to grow. They got to continue to fulfill whatever they got to do to stay on the field. They got to keep, working like they've been working. And they put themselves in a position to do that. I was so happy to be able to watch those guys, I don't want to say come of age, but contribute like they did. That was awesome to just watch those guys do that. But we're seeing it with some other guys at other positions. It's just the running back position is just one of those that people notice. Like I said, Ed McGee, he's out there doing the things that he does. Our linebacker core, all those guys are contributing. Derek Turner's a freshman in the secondary, contributing. Dontrell Smith played the other day. So we're playing freshmen right now. And sometimes they get overlooked because they're on defense or in another position. But we got a lot of guys that are contributing right now.
Would you talk a little bit about Josh Carr? You talked a little bit about him last week, but where he came from. Did he actually change position, or was it just an adjustment from outside linebacker to defensive end? Or is he?
He's a defensive end. He's been a defensive end. He was last year. We just changed the way we're attacking now with the front. Raymond Monica's he's got those guys playing that way, getting up the field and getting into the backfield. We want to play on that side of the line of scrimmage, not on our side. That's just a philosophical change that we made. Where Josh has made the most progress in the weight room. He's put on about 25 pounds since last year. It's all muscle. He's still a lean guy, so he's able to exert more power, still maintain his athleticism, his ability to rush the passer and things like that. But because he's got some more muscle, he's able to hang in there longer and play longer. So he's a guy that plays defense. He runs down on kickoffs. He does a few things for us. But he's playing well right now. I think he and Isaac on the opposite sides really, really give us some edge pressure that, we're fortunate enough to have.
How are you guys looking on the injury front with those guys y'all didn't have? Are they going to be able to come
Yeah. All of these guys should be out practice this week. They'll all be game time decisions, just like we will every week. It's we'll get as much practice as we can out of them, and then we'll go into Friday before we leave and say who can come, who can contribute, who can help us win, and who can. And if you can't help us win, you'll stay here and watch it on TV. If you can, load the bus and let's go. So we don't bring anybody that can't help us win. We need guys that can help us win. And those are the guys that make the trip with us, because it's a business trip for us. It's not we don't reward guys just for being good guys. We want you to be a good player and take care of your business in the classroom and things like that, and then come help us win a game.
How many total we are missing Saturday?
That to me that's hard, because I don't think we're missing anybody.
Yeah.
We brought 66 guys and we played and we won, so we didn't miss anybody. We just all these guys have played before. So they just took more snaps. They got extra reps, So it was, it is what it is. You can't sit around and complain about what you don't have. Sometimes my wife does that, but I don't. Let's move forward, man.
All right, has there been any conversation with Lance this week? Certainly this is going to be a little different for him, because I know coaches change jobs all the time, but
yeah.
Coach there 12 years.
Yeah, you know where it's good is that he knows his knowledge of the players. So talking to him, we spent the offensive staff talked to him yesterday. Obviously, sharing his knowledge of what's going on. Kerry Joseph talked to our defensive staff to give insight on the offensive players. So that's where we're getting some insight. The schemes are the schemes. You watch them on film, and they are what they are. But to be able to find out more about the personnel, what affects them, what's their strengths, weaknesses, things like that. That's where he's been really valuable for it. This isn't about him. He'll tell you it's about Southeastern and McNeese. That's it. It's a bitter rivalry. Some think this is a bigger rivalry than our Nichols game. So it's a big game for us. So that's not. It has nothing to do with him. If you ask him, he's not going to even talk about it. He's just talking about what he's able to do for us to give a chance to win in Lake Charles on Saturday.
All conference games are big, but with Northwestern last week and these this week, is there an added level of importance with in-state rivalries, especially as it may pertain to potential recruiting?
Yeah, recruiting's the only advantage that we have, but every one of them counts the same in the record book. So when it comes to recruiting and we going up against them, yeah, you get an advantage by playing well and winning the game. In the conference standings, they don't look at in-state, out-state. That doesn't matter. It's important for us to win this game for the conference championship, for us to be able to get to where we want to go. And then, it's obviously it's the most important game because it's the next game we're playing. But the opportunity, again, to go in a hostile environment and win on the road is critical in this conference. Because if you do that, man, you get such a huge advantage over everybody else to be able to do that. McNeese went over to Abilene Christian this year, earlier in the season and really outplayed them. When you watch them on film, really outplayed them, and then just couldn't pull it out. Lost 17-10. So it's tough to win on the road in this conference, and be able to get a win in Lake Charles this weekend is huge for us.
Mike Mason, how's he looking?
Good. They got him over to the doctor right now. We'll find out about him either sometime this afternoon or maybe first thing in the morning.
The knee injury?
Yeah, it was a knee. Yeah. So we'll find out, his prognosis or whatever. Is that a word, prognosis? I think it is, huh? Yeah.
That's a word. We'll let you go.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's good.
Frank, y'all lead the conference in third down conversions. That's got to make a coach happy.
Yeah.
What is that a result of?
I think it's a result of our players understanding what we want to do, being situationally smart. We spent and we do it all the time now, but we really spent the off season in the summer helping our guys have more situational awarenesses, down and distance and places on the field and what teams like to do in certain situations. And I think that our offensive guys, when it comes to third down conversions, have really done a good job with the expectation it's third and medium. Here's the 5 or 6 plays that we carry in on third and medium, and they know what they are. And they know what to expect from the defense. And I think a lot of it has to do with how Chasen's playing, but also it's all our guys knowing what our expectations are in that situation and working through it during the course of the week. I think our offensive staff has really done a good job preparing our guys, but our players are the ones that have to go out on the field and do it. And the communication process has really been good. I think that's the reason for where we are on third down conversions.
Coach, you look at that game, and you talked about it a little bit, but all the recipe was there for them to pull that upset against you guys with the injuries on the road after getting a big win, big game next week. Do you look at that and say this team really just makes a jump by winning a game like that when you have adversity on the road?
Well, I think so. I think you look at it, winning on the road is so big just to be able to do that. But I've been talking about it. I love this team. I love the way these guys play, the way the operation takes place, man. They don't. Like I said, if you're going to beat us, you better play 60 minutes because we're going to play 60 minutes. We're proving that. And then what's happening is that the more we're playing, the more confidence we're getting. And that confidence is spreading throughout our team. We're getting more and more close-knit. We're getting more and more of a bond within offense and defense. If one's struggling and the other one side of the ball struggling and the other side, there's no finger pointing, anything like that. These guys are growing together. So is there a confidence level? Yeah, there's got to be a confidence level. But I think there's a level of awareness that if we just give good effort all the time for 60 minutes, things can happen to us. I told them after the game, if you want to win, you better play 60 minutes against us. Don't play 30 and say, well, that's good enough. We're going to go in halftime and then we'll be fine. Because we're coming back out, we're going to play the second half, and we'll see how you hold up.
Looking at McNeese's numbers, they're not eye-popping where you just look at it and say, hey, man, this is what they're doing good, this is what they're setting their hand on. But obviously they're doing something. When you guys look at film, what are they doing well on offense to kind of get themselves going?
I think it starts with the quarterback. You know, a lot of movement from him. Him taking off running, throwing the football, getting out in bubbles. We got to tackle well again this week because of what they're going to do. But I think the key for them is going to be the running back. I think he's fast, he's powerful, he's got a chance to break a run, and that always worries you. You know, when somebody gets their run game going, they get some momentum going, and that's a tough deal to stop. Defensively, and when you look at all the defense categories, they're higher than us in almost every category. So they're playing better defense from a number standpoint than we are. And then the other thing for them is that their turnover margin. You know, they're second in the conference in turnover margin. We're last. So I talked to the staff today. We got to get that thing flipped. We got to take care of the football, and then we got to go get some turnovers. So I want to be able to do that. And I think that's where, you know, the problems, some of the things when you really look at the stat sheet, what really matters, those are some of the things that matter for us.
Y'all good?
Good. Thank y'all guys. Appreciate it.